Sky speaks in silence, but only the awakened hear it scream. Be prepared. Something massive is unfolding above us, and most people are sleepwalking right through it. On April 18th, the cosmos will pull a move we haven't seen in over 200 years. This isn't some recycled horoscope fluff or trendy stargazing hype. No, this is the kind of event that ancient seers would have called an omen, a warning, a door creaking open where none should exist. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, blindfolded, with the wind whispering secrets in your ear. That's what this Mercury-Neptune conjunction feels like. It's happening at 0 degrees Aries, the cosmic starting line, the big reset. This isn't a coincidence. It's a cosmic alarm clock, and whether you're ready or not, it's ringing. When Mercury, the planet of thoughts, words, and messages, meets Neptune, the dreamer, the illusion maker, the mystic, at the very first breath of the Zodiac, it creates a psychic shockwave. Old beliefs shatter, truths are unmasked, reality itself begins to bend. This is the kind of alignment that ancient civilizations would have built temples around, and it's happening now. If you've been sensing things, random chills, hyper-real dreams, thoughts that feel borrowed from another world, this is why. You're not imagining it. The veil between realms is thinning, and time is running out to prepare. Don't scroll past this. Like, subscribe, and drop 77 in the comments to show you're one of the few ready to hear this truth. Help spread this message before the signal gets drowned in the noise. Now, take a breath. Let's talk about what's really going down on April 18th. And as we step deeper into this, remember, we're not talking about some far-off, abstract idea. This isn't myth. This is real. It's happening, and it's happening now. April 18th isn't just a date on a calendar. It's the crack in the sky where fate leaks through. This exact alignment, Mercury and Neptune joining forces at 0 degrees Aries, hasn't happened in more than 200 years. Think about that. 2 centuries. Entire empires have risen and fallen in that time. Generations have lived and died without ever witnessing what we're about to see. And yet here you are, alive in this exact moment, being pulled toward this message not by chance, but because something in you already knows. Mercury is the mind, the messenger, the voice that whispers in your thoughts. Neptune is the dreamer, the mystic, the fog that blurs the line between real and imagined. And Aries? Aries is the beginning, the big bang of the Zodiac, the match that sparks the fire. When these 2 cosmic forces collide in the very first breath of the astrological wheel, it's not just a rare event, it's a reboot of consciousness, a spiritual software update that forces your old programming to glitch and break. And for those brave enough to listen, it installs something new, something wild, something otherworldly. Expect confusion, expect strange dreams that feel like memories, expect to look in the mirror and not recognize who you were just days ago. This conjunction will hit like a riddle that can't be solved with logic, but will haunt you until you feel its truth in your gut. This is where the collective mind starts to crack open, where illusions break, where truths long buried beneath centuries of noise begin to rise like ancient cities from the ocean floor. Mercury brings the message. Neptune brings the mystery. Aries demands action. You may feel ungrounded, like your thoughts aren't your own, like your reality is flickering like a bad signal. That's not madness. That's the download starting. Some will resist, some will numb out. But those who lean in, who trust the weirdness, will unlock visions, insights, and deep truths that were hidden all their lives. Think of it like standing at the edge of a dream, knowing you could wake up, but choosing not to. Choosing instead to dive deeper, to find what lives in the fog. That's the power of this moment. The universe is extending its hand. The question is, will you take it? This is a psychic shift, a mental exodus. The rules are about to change, and if you're clinging too tightly to what's normal, you might miss your chance to rewrite your story from the ground up. Because after this, things won't go back to the way they were. Mercury and Neptune won't be back at this point for another 2 lifetimes. You won't get this exact energy again. This is it. The portal's open, but only for a moment. So choose wisely. Pay attention to your thoughts, your dreams, the things you feel but can't explain. The signs are all around you now, flashing like warnings in a storm. April 18th isn't just a date, it's a threshold. Step through it with your eyes open. But stepping through with open eyes doesn't guarantee clarity. Far from it. Because what waits on the other side of this threshold isn't all light and revelation, it's a fork in the path. And which way you go depends on your readiness, your awareness, and your willingness to let go of what you think you know. There are two currents flowing through this energy. One pulls you into awakening, sudden downloads, inner breakthroughs, a kind of truth that doesn't come in words, but in chills and certainty. The other pulls you into fog, confusion, delusion, chasing shadows, mistaking fantasy for guidance. The same alignment can feel like a miracle or a maze, and that's the paradox of this moment. It's not the stars that decide, it's your state of mind when the stars align. This is why April 18th is more than just a rare alignment. It's a test, a spiritual pressure point. Mercury and Neptune coming together at 0 degrees Aries, the Aries point, is like a cosmic New Year's bell ringing across the sky. Not just a new page, but a whole new book. And what you write in it depends on whether you're walking in presence or in fear. Mercury, the mind, brings messages. But under Neptune's influence, those messages can be crystal clear or completely distorted. It's like trying to tune into a radio station. If your internal frequency is scattered, you'll pick up static and noise. But if you're still, focused, receptive, you'll hear the transmission. You'll feel it. Neptune governs the collective unconscious, the deep sea of dreams and memories we all swim in, often without knowing. When Mercury dives into those waters at the Aries point, we're all given a chance to dip below the surface and hear what's really been echoing in our souls. But deep water isn't safe for everyone. Some will float, some will sink, and some will see the truth hidden in the depths. Confusion isn't failure. It's a symptom of awakening. The mind wants certainty, but this moment brings mystery. The old mental structures start to dissolve, and if you're not grounded, that can feel like losing yourself. But sometimes you have to lose yourself to find what's real, to burn away the false layers, to remember what you were before the world told you what to be. And that's the invitation, not to solve, but to surrender, to let go of needing answers and start listening for real. Not with your ears, but with your intuition, your instincts, your inner compass. That's the only way through. This is the deep breath before a storm of realization. It's not about knowing what comes next. It's about being present as it arrives. Because when Mercury whispers and Neptune dreams at the edge of the Zodiac, reality doesn't change with a bang. It shifts like a dream turning lucid. And you either wake up or drift deeper. And if you've started to drift, deeper into the fog or closer to something ancient and familiar, you may have already felt the signs in the quietest of places, your dreams. Because while your waking mind wrestles with confusion, your sleeping mind is wide open, unguarded, listening. The dream world is speaking louder now than it has in decades. Maybe you've noticed it, those strange dreams that cling to you all day, that feel too real to be dismissed. Maybe you've seen people who've passed or found yourself in places you've never been but somehow remember. That's not random. That's not just your brain unwinding. That's transmission. It's the other side knocking. This Mercury-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries isn't just shifting reality, it's cracking open your subconscious like a sealed vault. Mercury brings the mental spark, the translator. Neptune brings the mystery, the image, the ocean of symbols. And at the Aries point, they're not just whispering, they're broadcasting, loud, raw, undeniable. Dreams have always been more than dreams. They're the secret language of the soul, where your higher self and unseen guides leave breadcrumbs, symbols, riddles soaked in meaning. In these coming nights, pay attention. That stranger who speaks in riddles, the staircase you can't stop climbing, the light behind a closed door, they're not just dream mechanics. They're messages, clues, portals. This isn't the time to dismiss what you see when your eyes are closed. In fact, your dreams may hold more truth than your daytime reality. Write them down, every fragment, even the parts that make no sense, especially those. Truth wrapped in dream logic often bypasses the rigid walls of the conscious mind and slips in through the back door of intuition. Neptune doesn't deal in facts. It deals in feelings, in knowing without proof. Mercury helps bring that knowing to the surface, to your journal, to your voice. That's why this alignment is sacred. It fuses logic and mysticism in a way that can change how you perceive your entire life. And this isn't just personal, it's collective. Many people are having the same dreams, seeing the same symbols, waking with the same unshakable feelings. It's like the entire human mind is syncing to one hidden rhythm. The collective unconscious is rising like a tide, and your dreams are the first place it touches land. Don't ignore them. Don't brush them off as nonsense. The universe rarely speaks in full sentences. It speaks in symbols, in images, in dreamscapes. And right now, it's speaking louder than it has in 200 years. The question is, are you listening? Because listening doesn't end when the dream does. It continues in the in-between moments, the quiet spaces in your day where the universe starts to echo back. If you've been paying attention, you might have already noticed it. Numbers repeating, a stranger saying the exact words you were thinking, a song playing with lyrics that answer a question you never said out loud. That's not chance, that's synchronicity. After the dreams, this is how the signs start to bleed into waking life. And with Mercury and Neptune joined at 0 degrees Aries, the border between reality and the unseen is melting. The strange becomes familiar. The hidden becomes obvious, but only to those who are tuned in. Repeating numbers. Glances at the clock that always land on 111, 333, 444. Pages falling open to sentences that hit like lightning. A gut feeling that turns out to be right, even when it defied logic. These moments are not tricks of the mind. They are patterns stitched by a force far older and wiser than any of us. Mercury decodes the language. Neptune writes the poetry. Together, they paint meaning into what once seemed random. The closer we move to April 18th, the louder this cosmic rhythm becomes. It's as if the universe is dialing up the volume, hoping someone, you, is still listening, still watching, still willing to wonder. Synchronicity is the language of a higher intelligence. It's not loud, it doesn't shout, it weaves, it nudges, it orchestrates moments that make you pause and say, what are the odds? But that question is the clue. The odds don't matter. The pattern is the point. This alignment peels back the curtain just enough for you to see the threads connecting everything. You may pass someone on the street and feel like you've known them forever. You might open a book and find a sentence that reads like it was written just for you. These aren't accidents. They're wake-up calls disguised as everyday life. Synchronicities are the breadcrumbs. They lead you through the fog of Neptune and across the bridge Mercury builds between what is and what could be. If you're grounded, present, aware, you'll notice them more and more, as if the universe is trying to pull you into a secret conversation. Not with words, but with winks. And here's the catch. It's all about presence. If you're lost in distraction, buried in the noise, you'll miss it. These signs require your attention, your stillness, your curiosity. The more you open your eyes to the strange alignments, the more they appear. They feed on awareness like fire feeds on oxygen. April 18th isn't just a day, it's a crescendo. And right now, the universe is leaving clues everywhere, waiting for someone awake enough to follow them. So again, the question stands. Are you listening, or are you letting the whispers get drowned in the noise? If the whispers haven't been loud enough, your body has likely started speaking too. Because when the universe wants your attention, it doesn't just tap your shoulder, it surges through your entire system. What you've been feeling lately, the tingling at the top of your head, the pressure behind your eyes, the sudden rushes of emotion that seem to come out of nowhere. That's not just stress or fatigue. That's energy, and it's moving. We left off wondering whether you're listening. Now look closer. Your energy is listening, even if your mind hasn't caught up. With Mercury and Neptune dancing at 0 degrees Aries, your whole system is being rewired to handle a new frequency. It's like tuning an old radio to a frequency that's always been there. But suddenly the static clears, the channel sharpens, and the broadcast comes through. You may feel unexplainable exhaustion one day, then jolts of raw inspiration the next. You may notice you're more sensitive to people's emotions, more affected by crowds, lights, noise, even technology. This isn't a malfunction, it's an upgrade. Your spiritual receptors are being stretched open, sometimes gently, sometimes not. The crown of your head may pulse with energy. Your chest might feel tight or suddenly expansive. The headaches? They're not just physical. There's spiritual pressure building behind your third eye, pushing something open. And here's the wild part. It doesn't matter if you've spent years meditating or if you've never thought about chakras in your life. This isn't about spiritual status. This is happening to everyone. Because the Mercury-Neptune conjunction at Aries Point is collective. It's rewriting the whole frequency map. You're not broken, you're becoming. This is the part no one tells you about awakening. It's messy, it's emotional. Sometimes it hurts, but underneath that discomfort is truth. power, clarity, like an old antenna being bent back in alignment so it can finally receive the signal it was always meant to catch. You may notice you're picking up on people's intentions before they speak. You may feel drained around certain places or buzz with energy in others. You may start seeing through the fake, the shallow, the scripted, and craving depth like oxygen. That's your energy field filtering out the noise. It's becoming intelligent, intuitive, responsive, and the more you honor what you feel, the stronger it becomes. This isn't a time for doubt, it's a time for presence. Your body is becoming a tuning fork, resonating with truths far beyond language. Let it. Rest when you need to. Breathe deep when things get intense. Listen to what your intuition is screaming beneath the static of daily life. You don't need to fully understand what's happening, but you do need to trust it, because your energy field isn't breaking, it's blooming. You're not falling apart. You're being reassembled, piece by luminous piece, into who you were always meant to become. The only real question is, will you resist the current or let it carry you forward into the unknown? And if you choose to flow with it, if you allow the current to guide you through the uncertainty, the energetic shifts, the dream symbols and synchronicities, what comes next might surprise you. Because just beyond the intensity of this cosmic surge comes clarity. Not the kind that arrives like a to-do list, neat and practical. No, this clarity feels like a sunrise breaking through fog, like suddenly realizing you've been underwater, and now you're breathing real air. After April 18th, there's a shift, a settling. The chaos begins to crystallize, and what once felt tangled now unfolds with a kind of effortless understanding. This isn't just mental sharpness, it's spiritual intelligence. You begin to perceive not only what things are, but what they mean, and not just for you, but for the whole. That project you've been stuck on, the path forward reveals itself. That decision you couldn't make, it becomes obvious. It's like seeing the entire map at once, both the forest and the individual leaves on every tree. This alignment of Mercury and Neptune doesn't just stir the waters, it filters them. It reprograms the lens through which you perceive everything. After April 18th, many will feel like their thoughts aren't just thoughts anymore. They're downloads, pulses of understanding, ideas that arrive whole, like lightning strikes of inspiration. You won't always be able to explain how you know, but you'll just know. Your mind is no longer operating alone. It's fused with something higher, intuition, source, your future self whispering across time. And with that comes the ability to see patterns where there used to be noise. Connections that eluded you for years will suddenly click into place. You'll see the threads tying together the events of your life, and for the first time, it may all make sense. Even those who weren't spiritual before may find themselves caught in unexpected moments of insight. It could be while cooking, walking, driving. Suddenly, it's as if the puzzle pieces of reality fall into your lap, already assembled. It's not magic, it's alignment. A recalibrated mind in tune with a recalibrated world. This clarity doesn't come from effort. It comes from surrender, from surviving the dream fog and the energy shifts without shutting down, from listening when the signs came, from trusting when the logic broke. It comes from letting your perception expand, even when it felt overwhelming. And now, you're stepping into a new era of thinking, more integrated, more intuitive, more whole. You won't just solve problems, you'll understand them. You won't just chase goals, you'll feel pulled toward purpose. And this clarity, it's not a peak to visit. It's the new ground you walk on. The storm clears, and you realize it wasn't just weather, it was a transformation. Now the question becomes, what will you do with a mind that sees beyond the veil? And with a mind that now sees beyond the veil, the journey doesn't end, it deepens. Because this kind of awakening isn't a flash in the pan. It's not a one-night dream. What begins on April 18th doesn't vanish with the sunrise. It unfolds layer by layer across the next 40 days, a sacred window of integration and transformation that echoes across ancient traditions. 40 days, a symbolic number, found in stories of prophets, vision quests, and spiritual rebirths. This isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern written into the soul of time itself. After the veil lifts, after the insights arrive, the work begins. Not the old kind of work, force, effort, grind. This is inner work, realignment, letting the upgrades settle into your cells, your speech, your sense of self. During this period, Your perception of time may shift. Hours stretch or disappear entirely. Synchronicities increase. Déjà vu becomes a language. Dreams carry premonitions. Conversations feel scripted by something greater. You might find yourself speaking truths you didn't even know you carried, words flowing from a place deeper than memory. Mercury governs how we speak, think, and connect. Neptune governs what we dream, imagine, and feel beyond words. Their union at Aries Point cracks something open. Now the energy flows in, and you'll feel it shaping you. Communication transforms. The way you speak to others, the way you listen, even your inner dialogue, expect it to become more intentional, more electric, more soul-infused. Creativity will surge, not just for artists, but for anyone ready to build something new. Businesses, relationships, ideas, realities. This isn't about making art, it's about making meaning. Meditation may suddenly feel deeper, even effortless. Spiritual texts, ones you've read before, will now seem alive, as if new words were written between the lines just for you. Intuition sharpens into knowing. That quiet nudge in your gut, it becomes a compass. If you trust it, it will guide you to people, places, and opportunities that feel fated. But here's the crossroads. Will you move with this transformation or simply drift through it? Because while this integration is happening to everyone, the impact will be wildly different depending on your awareness. If you stay asleep, it might feel like random chaos, but if you stay awake, it becomes alchemy, real change. Breakthroughs you've long prayed for finally landing in your lap, not because they're new, but because you're now ready. This is the seed stage. What you nurture now will bloom in unexpected ways in the months to come. But like any garden, it demands attention, presence, care. These 40 days are your sacred window, your echo chamber with the divine. You are being rewired to receive a new reality. So stay open, stay curious, and remember, this isn't just a cosmic event, it's an invitation. The universe is reshaping you from the inside out. The only thing left to decide is, will you walk through this fire willingly or wait for it to consume what no longer fits? And now that you know the transformation is unfolding, not in an instant, but over a stretch of sacred time, the question becomes, how do you walk it with intention? How do you meet this rare cosmic energy, not just with awareness, but with reverence? Because in moments like this, it's not just about what you feel, it's about what you do. Action becomes ritual. Presence becomes power. The next 40 days are not for passivity. They're for conscious engagement with the energy moving through you. Every moment is ripe for meaning, if you choose to make it so. Start by slowing down. You cannot integrate divine downloads at the speed of distraction. This isn't a time to crowd your schedule or force outcomes. This is a time for ritual. And ritual doesn't mean candles and incense, though it can. It means doing things with sacred attention. Drinking water like it's holy. Walking like the earth is listening. Speaking only when your words feel true. The body is your first temple in this transformation. Pay attention to it. Stretch it. Feed it clean, grounding food. Avoid what makes you numb or dull. Alcohol, overstimulation, sugar, toxic media. These things may feel like comfort in chaos, but during this passage, they fog the signal. The universe is transmitting on a high frequency. Anything that lowers yours will make it harder to hear. Morning is powerful now. Try to greet it with intention. Before you touch your phone, sit in silence. Place your hands on your heart or over your eyes. Breathe slowly and ask, what am I being shown today? What truth is rising in me? Keep a notebook nearby, not for answers, but for echoes. A word, a symbol, a sentence from a dream. Catch them before they fade. These are not random thoughts, they are code. They are seeds. If your energy feels too intense, immerse yourself in water. Baths, showers, even standing in the rain. Neptune is a water planet, and water carries memory. It also clears. Use it to wash away energy that isn't yours, to release whatever still clings to your old identity. And don't rush through it. Let the water be a ceremony. As it runs over your skin, imagine it taking with it everything you're no longer meant to hold. Sound is another portal. Listen to music that moves your spirit, not just your body. Chant, human. Speak out loud the things you wish to call in. Mercury rules sound, language, vibration. So now more than ever, your words are spells. Don't waste them on complaint or gossip. Speak beauty, speak vision, Speak only what you want woven into your reality. This is also a time for boundaries. Your aura is more porous right now. You're picking up energies that don't belong to you. Be mindful of the people you let close, the spaces you enter, the screens you stare into. If something leaves you drained or anxious, step back. Not everything deserves your attention. Energy is currency. Spend it with care. Dream journaling becomes essential. Even if you've never done it before, try now. Keep your notebook by your bed. Set the intention before sleep. Show me what I need to know. And when you wake, write, even fragments. Over time, patterns will emerge. Themes, warnings, gifts. Neptune speaks in dream logic. Mercury helps translate. You are the bridge. Avoid over-explaining your experiences to those who aren't ready. Not everyone will understand what you're going through, and that's okay. Protect your transformation from disbelief. There is power in quiet evolution. Share only with those who honor your process. Crystals, herbs, talismans, if they call to you, use them. But remember, these tools are not the source. You are the altar. Your breath is sacred. Your attention is holy. You don't need anything outside of yourself to align with the divine, but physical tools can anchor the energy if used with intention. If emotions rise, let them. You may feel grief for who you used to be, even if that version of you was wounded or lost. You may feel bursts of joy that seem to come from nowhere. You're not crazy, you're adjusting. Emotional waves are part of the rewiring. Cry if you need to. Laugh when it bubbles up. Trust that every feeling is movement. Avoid making huge life decisions impulsively during this time. Let things settle. The clarity you're receiving now is real, but integration takes time. Let your new insights marinate. Let your future self guide your choices, not your fear or your urgency. Practice stillness. Just a few minutes a day. Sit, breathe. Do nothing but be. Let silence be the teacher. This is when your guides speak loudest, not in chaos, but in quiet. If you feel blocked, ask, what do I need to hear that I'm afraid to receive? And then listen. You are not who you were last week. You won't be who you are now by next month. The transformation is happening whether you acknowledge it or not. But when you meet it halfway, with ritual, with reverence, with choice, it becomes not just a shift, but a rebirth. So treat each day as a page in your personal scripture. Live it like it matters, because it does. You're not just witnessing a rare cosmic alignment. You're living inside it. Let it change you. Let it write new codes into your breath, your thoughts, your dreams. This isn't the end of the story. It's the spark of a new one. And now, as we stand at the edge of this rare cosmic moment, remember, this isn't just astrology, it's an awakening. The next 40 days are your invitation to align with a higher version of yourself. Stay aware, stay present, and most of all, stay open. If this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe for more insights, and comment 77 below to show the universe you're tuned in and ready. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because transformation is always better when we rise together. The stars have spoken. Now, it's your move.